Alright, playoff time. I'm excited. Did you see all the playoff team jersey lying down on my bed? And I'm ready to give you my prediction. So let's jump right in with the first series that I think is going to be really interesting. I'm a Habs fan, right? And I can't wait to see that Kreider and Price rematch show the Montreal Canadiens against the New York Rangers. I picked the Abs in 7 games for a few reasons. I think Price is going to be really good in that series, but let's give some credit to the Rangers. They do have a great offensive team. I remember they start the season so strong. But I do think the Montreal Canadiens are going to come up ahead. Don't get me wrong, in 7 games, it's going to be a close series, but Carey Price is going to be the difference maker, and they're going to move on to the second round. Alright, moving on to the second matchup, the Bruins against the Senators. It kind of hurts to say me, but I think the Bruins are going to come up ahead for a few reasons. They have a lot of playoff experience with guys like Bergeron, Marchand, David Backes. And it hurts me to say it, but I think the Bruins are going to come up on top just because they have more of a balanced team, and Tuukka Rask I feel like could be really good in the playoff. And even though they got Krug and Carlo questionable for Game 1, I truly believe that the Bruins are going to win this series. And don't get me wrong, guys, I want nothing more than the Sens to win, because I'm not the biggest of the Bruins fans, right? But I think the Bruins are going to come up on top and win this series in 6 games. Alrighty, folks, moving on to what I believe would be the highest scoring series of them all, but might be the quickest of them all. Capitals against the Leafs. If you consider the fact that the Leafs actually have lost more than they won this season, including, overtime and shutout loss, they're a 40-42 team, and in the playoff, you don't get a point if you lose in overtime. So this is the only team in the playoff right now that technically doesn't play for 500, And don't get me wrong, I love Matthews, I love Nylander, I love Mitch Marner. They're a really good offensive young team. But this year is just going to be a learning experience for them, and I think the Caps are going to win this one in 5 games because, they're a stacked team up front. They have one of the best defensive core as well. And let's not forget, if that doesn't work, they have Brendan Oldby in net. So, I feel like the Capitals, I feel like we say that a lot every year, that Capitals might go deep this year, but they end up choking or anything. But I truly believe that with the addition of Kevin Shattenkirk on that blue line, not much can stop them, and I don't think it's going to be the Maple Leafs. So Caps in 5 games, and let's move on to the last playoff matchup in the East. Okay, so definitely the playoff matchup I'll watch the more, except, of course, my Montreal team. But the Columbus Blue Jackets facing the defending Cup champion and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this one was really hard because with Chris Letang, I truly believe that the Penguins would have won the series in 5, maybe 6 at most. But without Chris Letang, this is a huge loss. And speaking of Chris Letang, but yeah, I'm going to pick the Pens in 7 for a few reasons. Columbus did have their best regular season of their entire franchise history, but they finished with 6. Their last 7 games, they have lost 6 times. So I hate when a team go to the playoffs with a losing mindset, because at the end, for the Blue Jackets, they didn't have much to play for. The Capitals were way up front in that Metropolitan Division. So, but don't get me wrong, I truly believe that Columbus Blue Jacket is an insanely good hockey team, but it's hard to pick against Crosby and Malkin. And for that reason, I'm going to pick the Pens in 7 games. But man, I can't wait to watch every single game of that series. And I think Bobrovsky could be the difference maker if he played like he played in the regular season. It was a wall. So, Pens in 7. Let's see what happens. Alright, time to go to the West, starting with the Chicago Blackhawks facing the Nashville Predators with my boy PK Subban back there. And even though I kind of want Nashville to win because, I still love PK a lot, and I feel like they have a good little team, but it's really hard to pick against the Chicago Blackhawks, and they had a great season again. They have so much playoff experience, and it's hard to, Kane and Panarin and Jonathan Taves, and it's really hard to pick against them. For that reason, I'm going to pick the Hawks in 5 games. I think it's going to be a pretty quick series, but I would love nothing more than Nashville to give up a fight and really, play out, come out strong, and, even beat the Hawks. But I truly feel that the Hawks are going to win in 5. just because they have such a good offensive core, defensive core, and Crowder Crawford can be really good during the playoffs. So there you go. Hawks in 5. Moving on to the second matchup in the West. Wild against the Blues, and I'm picking the Blues in 6 games for a few reasons. The Wild, like 2 months ago, was definitely like a favorite in the West to, take it all and just make a deep run at it. But they had a slow finish. They were not playing that great. When it was in Minnesota, they didn't play that great, and they went on a losing streak and lose a couple of games, and I feel like they lost their identity. And the Blues, on the contrary, have been a really good team since the coach change. Allen has been playing great. Tarasenko, his line has been phenomenal in the past few weeks. So I'm going to pick the Blues in 6 just because they've been playing so good as of late, and the Wild did not. Even though the Wild, like 2 months ago, was probably a cup favorite for a lot of people, I think they're not going to move on past the first round. And I got the Blues in 6. I think Tarasenko is going to be a huge difference maker with very key goals on power play. And that's it. I feel like the Blues are going to win in 6. Even though they lost Kevin Shattenkirk, I feel like they've been playing better and adjusting really well to that loss. So Blues in 6. There you go. Alright, moving on to the third matchup in the West, this is the one that probably has the most bad blood into it, considering what Giordano did to Cam Fowler a couple of days ago. And so yeah, the Ducks against the Flames, that's going to be a really interesting series because it's size against speed. But, it's hard to pick against the Ducks, and I truly feel like the Ducks are going to come up on top of this one. Don't get me wrong, I think it's going to be a really close series, really close games, but I feel like the Ducks are able to, finish strong those games and end up taking the series in 5 games. I think all of the games are going to be really tight, but sadly, I think the Ducks are going to win in 5. So maybe this is not the year for the Flames, even though they were one of the best teams in the NHL since February 1st. The Ducks also were really good, and Ryan Getzlaf just been tearing it up lately. So Ducks in 5. There you go. Alright, definitely my favorite matchup in the West by far. Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers facing the San Jose Sharks. So this is going to be a really good series for a few reasons. The Oilers didn't make the playoff for the past 11 years, so they're hungry. And the San Jose Sharks were a Cup finalist last year, and they're hungry as well, and their window is closing every minute that passed by. Thornton, Pavelski, Paul Martin, Patrick Marleau, they're getting older, and our Couture and Thornton are going to be at 100% health. We quite don't know. And I feel like the Edmonton Oilers are ready to go. And McDavid in his 100-point season are going to pass by the Sharks in 7 games. And I believe the difference maker is going to be a guy like Milan Lucic. And that second line for the Oilers, who has been really good the past few games. I think he probably is the only one on the Oilers squad with actual playoff experience. And I feel like he's going to be a true leader on the ice. And of course, McDavid is going to put up the numbers. But Lucic is going to be a difference maker in this series. Just look out. And the Oilers in 7. But I'm so glad that the Oilers and Sharks play at 10 o'clock every night that my Montreal Abs are playing. So I'll be watching the Abs. Then the Oilers straight up. It's going to be some great hockey night. That's why we love the first round. The first round, there's so many intense games, so many playoff hockey to watch, so many things to, storyline to catch up on. It's the best time of the year. So you guys enjoy the first round. It's insane. It's definitely my favorite time of the year by far. Enjoy it. And make sure to comment down below your prediction. I'll just put a picture of my old bracket so you guys can take a look. And make sure to post your prediction down below. Definitely, playoff starts today. Playoff starts today. It's finally here, guys. So enjoy the playoff season. And I guess I'll see you on the other side. Take care, guys.